رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Today we will talk about the second daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, as we talked about Zainab radiallahu anha last night. The second daughter, Ruqayya, the daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, and Khadija radiallahu anha. She was born when the Prophet ﷺ was 33. She is 3 years younger than her sister Zainab radiallahu anha. And she accepted Islam along with her mother at the same time, meaning that she was one of the first comers to Islam. The Prophet ﷺ had her engaged with the son of his uncle Abu Lahab, and I mentioned it very briefly in the story of Zainab radiallahu anha. Utbah and Utayba, these were the two sons of Abu Lahab. Their mother is Jamil, and both of them are mentioned in Surah Al-Lahab. Tabbat yada Abi Lahabin wa tab. Abu Lahab is mentioned there. وَامْرَأَتُهُ, and his wife. Imra'a means lady, a woman. But in Arabic, normally when they say Imra'atu fulan, that someone's lady is the wife. So both of them were big, staunch enemies of Islam, in particular the Prophet ﷺ. So according to some historians, that they also got married. Only the nikah happened, and they did not consummate the marriage, meaning that they were living separately. She was living with her father, the Prophet ﷺ. So the mother was very vocal and very harsh about the Prophet ﷺ when he started the first message, وَأَنذِرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ, invite your family members. That was the first call to do a public appearance for the Prophet ﷺ with the message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him. Abu Lahab was the first one to denounce and to say that تَبًّا لَكَ يَا مُحَمَّدْ لِهَذَا جَمَعْتَنَا, like, woe to you, is this what you invited all of us for? You wasted all of our time? Like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the surah, Tabbat yada Abi Lahab. So he told his sons that you have to divorce your wives. Utbah was married to Ruqayya radiallahu anha. The mother also said to the son that I will not talk to you, and I'm going to disavow you, and you have nothing to do with us, because the Prophet's daughter, he said Muhammad's daughter Saba'at, they left their tradition, their religion. So he went and he gave divorce. The second son, Utayba, we will talk about him when we get to Kulthum radiallahu anha, as she was married to him. After the Prophet ﷺ received her back at home, then he married her to Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu. They lived in Mecca because it was the early days, and both of them actually made hijrah to Habasha, and then from there they did hijrah to Medina. So they are the few of the Sahaba who actually did two hijrahs, Dhul Hijratain. It was a great honor for someone who has done both hijrahs, to Habasha, to Abyssinia, and then from there to Medina Munawwara. So they both went there, and according to a lot of the historians, that they had their son Abdullah in Abyssinia, Habasha. So they had their African child. It's beautiful. However, he did not live, and therefore they moved to Medina, and they were Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu was also known as his nickname Abu Abdullah. Once the Prophet ﷺ came and he saw his daughter helping Uthman, she was combing his hair. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, take care of Abu Abdullah. He resembles me in his character. Yushbihuni khuluqan. That he resembles me in his character. The Prophet ﷺ loved him so much. When she came to Medina, until Ghazwa Badr, before it happened, she got sick. The Ghazwa, the expedition of Badr was the first one and was an honor for all of those. And that's why if a person is a Badri, if he's a Sahabi that attended the Battle of Badr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised that He will forgive their previous sins and in their future. قَدْ غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَعَلَّ اللَّهَ اطَّلَعَ عَلَى أَهْلِ بَدْرٍ فَغَفَرَ لَهُم مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِن ذَنبِهِمْ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ. So that's a very special, noble honor for those who attended that. However, Uthman al-Affan radiallahu anhu could not attend. He was serving his wife because she was sick. So there is no there is no lesson of dignity if a person is in the service of his wife. In Urdu there's a saying, Joru ka ghulam. So here we go. Uthman al-Affan radiallahu anhu. The Prophet ﷺ, when they came back with the booty, the spoils of war, the Prophet ﷺ gave him a portion because he stayed back. The Prophet ﷺ actually told him that stay back and serve your family. And the Prophet ﷺ gave him a portion from the spoils of war. She passed away before the caravan even reached Medina. They already buried her. She died during the expedition. She's buried in Baqiyah along with her other siblings. So she lived how long? If she was born at 33 when the Prophet ﷺ was that age, 7 years, 13, so that's 20. Then 2 years of Medina, barely 22, very young. When she passed away, we'll go to now Kulthum, the Prophet ﷺ's third daughter. The Prophet ﷺ would always look up to Uthman bin Affan and he would always admire him. It is mentioned that the idea came to Umar radiallahu anhu that he wanted Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu to marry his daughter. And then once he asked him, would you like to marry my daughter? Simple people. Marriage, they didn't take it that serious. It was a very simple, casual thing. They will easily get married. And not a big deal. Is okay? Not okay? Fine. So he asked him, are you interested in my daughter, Hafsa? He kind of didn't say anything. He was a very shy person. So he didn't say no, but he didn't say yes either. He understood it. He went to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, I went to Uthman and I offered my daughter. He even honored me accepting my daughter. So the Prophet ﷺ said that, how about this? I marry your daughter and then he marries my daughter. As simple as that. And then the Prophet ﷺ married Uthman radiallahu anhu to Kulthum, the third daughter of the Prophet ﷺ. As I mentioned that she was previously married or engaged to Utayba, the second son of Abu Lahab. The same thing happened. The mother actually was even more aggressive at this point. He said that, look, your brother also is willing to divorce his wife, so you also have to divorce your wife. And he went to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, I'm divorcing your daughter and she doesn't love me, I don't like her. And he scolded the Prophet ﷺ. And then he went even further. he went to the Prophet ﷺ, grabbed him by his qamis, by his shirt, and just tore it. I mean, someone who's your father's age, your uncle, at least have that much respect. The Prophet ﷺ was very upset at that point, and very seldom he ever made dua against someone. And then at that point he made this dua that, oh Allah, may the dogs of a dog from the dogs attack you. He just said that. So he says that the historians say that even while he was in Mecca, he would always think about it. He was afraid. Because it was very common that whenever the Prophet ﷺ said something, even the enemy will also take his word, and they knew that he said it, it's going to happen. Right? The story of Abu Jahl and many others. So one day he was traveling to Sham, and they camped at a site, and there was a lot of wild animals. It was kind of middle of nowhere. At that time he feared the most, and he said, and look at what the word he's saying. He said, that man who used to just take care of sheep, I'm afraid about his word that he said about me. At that night he slept, and a lion came and attacked the caravan, and he said that the lion came and just tore his head right off. Just grabbed him by his head and tore it right off. And that's how the Prophet ﷺ's words came true. However, she was then married to Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu as a second wife. She died in the 9th of Hijrah. The Prophet ﷺ prayed. She did not have any children from Uthman radiallahu anhu. I mentioned about Kulthum. She had one son, Abdullah, who passed away at a very early stage. So both of them had no children from Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu. The Prophet ﷺ was very grieved, and he sat on her grave, and he made dua, and he made special dua, and he also entered the grave while he was burying her, and then he made dua that, oh Allah, this is my daughter, and do not let her taste any of the punishment of the grave. So he was even worried about his own daughter at that stage, who was also one of the first comers to Islam, and she grew up in the Prophet ﷺ's family, but still the Prophet ﷺ had that grief. And then when he came out, he was smiling. And then the Prophet ﷺ said that, I was told that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven her, taken care of her. There's a long story about even her ghusl, how she was bathed and how she was given the kafan. So the Prophet ﷺ, this was the last of his children that he lost during his lifetime. And now he has only Fatima radiallahu anha, the parents of Hassan and Hussein radiallahu anhuma. Inshallah we'll talk about her in detail for our next session. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه.